Hello guys, welcome back to my channel or welcome to my channel. As promised, I am bringing some scary stories from r/scary stories. Okay, first post for the week is from short story 1 from r/scary stories. Yeah, this is the town where loneliness doesn't exist. Okay, it goes as follows. I live in a town where there is no loneliness, and man, I just want some alone time. I mean, it sounds impossible to not have loneliness, but because as you get older, you tend to get more lonelier. This town though, it will make sure you will never get lonely. It sounds impossible, but ever since I moved here, there's always someone with me. I don't know how it happens, and even when I'm in the toilet or when I'm showering, I am never lonely. There's always someone there, and I don't know in somehow how it overrides my consciousness. Whenever I want to walk alone, I can't because there's always someone. That is always walking with me. Whenever I want to just sit alone, there's always someone that is sitting alongside me. Whenever I want to eat at a restaurant all on my own, there's always someone that is sitting next to me. There's always someone talking to me, doing things with me. It's not just me, but other people also experience the same thing, and we can't seem to question it at all. The town where you can't get lonely ever. Sometimes I want to be alone. I want to be on my own, in my own space. This person who is always next to me and always watching me sleep, I can't seem to fight against it. Then when one day I must have snapped and killed whoever has been with me. Ever since then, since I came to this town, it felt good for a moment to have a moment to myself, and then I went to have a shower. I know I have 2 people who are with me wherever I went. The person I killed was somehow not dead, and there's another person now with him who also keeps following me. Okay, this is creepy. Wherever I went, these 2 would keep me company at all times. I observed that other people who were experiencing the same thing, and they too seem to be having the same problem, and they have enough. Now I snapped a couple of more times in the coming weeks, and now I have 10 people following me wherever I go. I notice other people seem to have more people following them as well. If we kill them, then they seem to multiply. So the town where loneliness doesn't exist is a horrible town. Everyone needs a bit of loneliness every now and then. Everyone needs their own space. That is creepy. Oh my god. Okay. Then let me add a story to it because this one is really short. So this is a 2 for 1. This one is submitted by Whisper Thoughts. It says, a girl encountered a scary washroom episode in her high school and learned about the history. Okay, it goes as follows. It happened 7 years ago when I changed my school and got admission to a new school, a girls' school. It was a government school, so the building hadn't undergone any construction construction for I don't know how many years. The walls of the classroom were yellow and the plaster was chipping. However, the classroom was quite big and appeared wholesome because of the educational paintings and posters. Once my teacher helped me find my classroom, I went in and greeted the teacher and my fellow classmates happily. I was so excited for the first day of school, but that day turned out to be very dull for me because I got my period right after entering the classroom. I am very sensitive when it comes to my periods. When I realized I got my period on that special day at school, which I was so excited about, my excitement went to dull. I asked my teacher, "Can I go use the restroom?" To make more embarrassment, she said no. Now the whole classroom was getting curious about why I approached the teacher and came back to my seat. I couldn't take the gossip in the classroom, so I got up again from my bench and approached the teacher again, saying directly, "I need to use the washroom because I got my period." The teacher approved. Here comes the most embarrassing part. I came to my bench again, and rather than take my pad out for use, I picked out my whole bag and went out of the class without a single word. Actually, I'm embarrassed to take out my pad in front of everyone else. Usually, I have one in my pocket, but this time I forgot it in my bag. And yeah, that's what I mean when I say I am sensitive about my period, or rather, I am shy to admit that my periods have arrived. My teacher was shocked, like, "Why in the world are you carrying your bag, and where is she going?" She stopped me and asked, "Why are you taking your bag with you?" I said, "My things are in my bag for the washroom." Maybe she was confused or speechless, but I don't know. But she let me go without saying anything. So our school washroom isn't attached to the school building. Instead, it is in the corner of the courtyard, separately built. I went there, and to my surprise, the whole school, including my classmates, could watch me from the windows. That's why I had my school bag with me. Why I was carrying my whole bag to the washroom. Yeah, I felt watched by the whole school. I think so. So instead of going normally, I awkwardly ran to the washroom. I heard laughter as I made it to the washroom. I calmed myself down and started to find my pad in my bag. Once I got my pad, I actually looked at the washroom. It was quite dirty with other girls' used stuff like tampons, and it had an unpleasant smell of urine. I felt my breakfast coming up to my throat. It only had one fragmented window. I opened one of the doors to use the toilet, and it was clogged. So I tried another toilet door, and to my surprise, it was clogged too. The others are in the same condition, and some of them didn't even have water supplies. Soon a girl came in, and rather than going into the toilet, she just sat on the washroom floor. Ugh, gross! And started to pee in front of me. I was so shocked. Wait, she sat on the floor? She didn't squat. Oh God, this is disgusting. Ew. Anyway, then after some moment, I realized that the floor of the washroom was actually wet, and it didn't seem like water to me. She zipped her pants and, giving me a mean look, she left. After she left, I locked the washroom door and started to do my stuff. Once I was done, I went to the only shattered basin and opened the tap, but there was no water coming out. Shattered basin. Oh my God, the picture I'm having of this entire bathroom is like of those in Silent Hill. You don't need to add paranormal to it. It's already horror. Ugh, disgusting. I checked the other taps of the toilet too, but nothing. I started to leave the washroom, but suddenly I heard water running. I turned around, and to my surprise, the basin tap was working and the water was flowing. So I washed my hand and started to leave. But suddenly I heard water running again. But this time the sound was coming from one of the washroom toilets. I checked all the toilets and found the running one and turned the tap off. I heard the sound of water again, but this time it was different. It sounded like water droplets were slowly dropping into a water mug. Tip, tip, tip. That was already filled with water. It was already late for me. The bell rang to confirm that it was time to go for another class. So I started to open the doors of the toilet one by one hurriedly. Once I came to the last door, suddenly the wind blew hard and the last piece of the window glass fell to the floor and shattered. I turned around abruptly to the window, and just at that moment, I heard a whisper in my ear. I turned again to my right just to hear the water droplet sound, which now seemed to be more annoying than before. My hand reached to the handle of the last toilet door, and as soon as I opened it, the hair on the back of my neck rose. The water droplets stopped immediately. I opened the door fully, and to my surprise, the toilet area was filled with water and the tap was off. I checked again, but the tap was off. I started to close the door again, and suddenly the water had filled the toilet and started to flow and wet my shoes. It happened in just 5 seconds, probably. Suddenly my brain asked me a question. Why didn't the water flow when I opened the door? Why was it flowing without any reason or without adding any water to it? I came back to reality again, and then I heard another whisper in my left ear, and this time a chill ran down my spine. Instead of turning to my left, I turned to my right, and as I was about to take a step forward, I heard water droplet sound again. I don't know why I turned back to look at it, but yeah, I did, and saw the tap I had turned off tightly was now dripping water. With each passing second, the water flow started to increase, filling the toilet again. At this moment, I got where I was and just looked at the tap, only the tap from which the water was flowing increasingly now. Suddenly, the water that came out of the tap stopped, and I was now staring at the water-filled area of the toilet. It was when I realized where I was, when I suddenly heard a loud bang in the washroom door. It was one of my classmates who was continuously chanting my name and telling me to come out. I immediately went to the door and unlocked it. She said that the teacher had sent her to check on me to see if I was okay or not. I said I was fine. It was then that she asked me, "Why did you lock the door? How did you manage to lock the door? Because it was broken." Since she didn't know how long it has been, she waited for me outside the washroom while I packed my bag hurriedly, and we started to walk towards the school building. I looked back at the washroom before entering my classroom, and fear was real. After the incident, I caught a high fever. I didn't know if it was because of my period or the terror I felt remembering the episode at the school. I cried in my sleep, which I had never done before. Soon, I became healthy again and went to my school regularly. making a lot of new friends. I told my friends about the scary episode. That is when I came to know from them. A year before my admission to the school, there was an old washroom, and many girls complained to the principal about some sort of weird experiences and noises, but the principal thought that the girls were just making stories to scare others and didn't treat the complaints as rumors. It was one incident that happened right before summer holiday in the school washroom that made the principal aware that those weren't rumors or stories. Right before the summer holiday, a girl went to use the washroom and didn't come back. They started gossiping about it. So the teacher herself went to check on her. When the teacher went to check on her, the door was locked from the inside, so she called out to her but had no answer. When the teacher started to call for help, she suddenly heard screams coming from the washroom. The teacher got afraid and started to scream for help. That's when the principal arrived at the spot, and with the help of the watchman, they opened the door with much difficulty. According to the girls of the school, a girl who was in the washroom continued to scream until the door was opened, and once it was open, the screams of the girl inside stopped abruptly. The girl was lying unconscious on the washroom floor, and her fingertips and her lips were turned purple. They took her to the hospital and she was safe. But when the principal asked what happened, she said she didn't remember much and didn't scream at all. Right before she lost consciousness, she heard someone whisper in her ear, and after that, the world went blank. She opened her eyes in the hospital. That's when the principal approved the construction of a new washroom building and demolished the old one. But the issue remained because the new washroom was built right after the old one, and you could see the plaster and brick of the old washroom remaining there. Some girls still complained about it, but nothing serious ever happened. Oh my god, that is creepy. Okay. Guys, if you guys love this, there is more coming. I'm really sorry for the late horror stories. I actually put the vote out and with very little feedback, but the people that actually voted said they wanted horror stories. So here is a horror story, and I'll keep it coming I'll keep it coming as long as I can help it, as long as I can do it. So as soon as I get new stories, it is coming right here. You guys better believe that it is coming right here. So if you like this, please smash the like button, subscribe, turn on your notification, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.